Let's get back to the kitchen now. John is there with our friend and from Tsunami Hibachi, who's it? Sushi and Hibachi Grill. I'll get it right.
There you go.
Samuel Ray.
Thanks, Scott. Sam, good to have you here as always.
My pleasure. Thank you.
This is very aromatic, what you're making here. It's a soup today?
Thank you. Soup, yes, that's right.
Nice.
It's been cold, so I figured let's do some soup.
A great idea.
Yeah.
And people have the colds and the flu and everything else, and soup is, you know, a magic treat. So how do we make this one?
All right, this one's pretty easy. So I've got about 7.5 cups of chicken broth here.
Okay.
We're bringing that to a simmer. As you can see, it's kind of steamy. If you wanted to do a vegan version of the recipe, you could use vegetable broth, and it's, you know, same thing pretty much.
I see these chicken broths, you know, in the store in cartons and things. Is it as good to just buy a carton broth or make your own?
A lot of people think that the carton broth is better because it's more boiled. You could buy bone broth, things like that. But a lot of times we just use bouillon cubes because it's easy to store.
Easy, and it's going to taste good, right?
Right. Okay. Same thing, pretty much.
Good to know.
All right, so let's get started here. As you can see, we got this simmering. We are going to add shiitake mushrooms. If you hate shiitake mushrooms, you can substitute for like baby bellows or whatever you want, really.
Why would anybody hate shiitake mushrooms?
I don't know. So we're going to get those guys cooking in the mix. Okay. Bamboo shoots, once again, optional. Some people hate them. I love them.
Me too.
And it adds a cool texture to the soup, all
exactly.
right? So these guys are going to go in here. This is a chili garlic sauce. You can buy, I think even H-E-B, all the stores have it. It's kind of in this, it's made by the same people as sriracha.
Okay.
Which is pretty much everywhere, so. I'm gonna add that in there. You can add more. This is about 1.5 teaspoons, just because I like a little bit more of a kick in my soup, especially if you've got a stopped up nose or anything like that.
Yeah, it really clears
Seems to be going around these days. So we're gonna let all of those simmer, get nice and hot. And for the thickening agent in this soup, what we're using is cornstarch.
Okay.
So I have reserved about 1/2 cup of the chicken broth here, and we are going to put that in a bowl. And then this is our cornstarch. What we want to do is put that in there and mix it up into kind of a slurry, and that's going to be the thickening agent in the soup to get that, you know, texture we're all used to.
What kind of proportions do you use here in terms of, you know, the liquid to the cornstarch? And why are you using cornstarch as opposed to, I don't know, what are the other thickening agents out there? Flour and
flour.
stuff?
A lot of people use flour. Cornstarch is gluten-free.
Okay.
So that's a plus to it. Yeah. And it's used more widely in Asian cuisine than flour is. So that's all mixed up well, and we're going to add that in there. And let this keep simmering and mixing up here.
Is cornstarch one of those things that you have to bring to a boil, or will it thicken on its own just in warm?
You want it to be pretty hot.
Okay.
So we've got this guy going here, but you can see it's already starting to get a little bit thicker here.
Yeah, you can tell already.
Yeah. So then I've got some soy sauce here, about 2 teaspoons of that. I'm going to go in there. Adds a nice color that we're used to seeing with this kind of soup.
I didn't realize how many kinds of soy sauce there are. I mean, it's
a
like fine wine in some places. You can really get some expensive soy sauces.
Well, it's brewed and family recipes. We use Kikkoman at Tsunami, which is pretty much the most popular because everybody loves it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, I think I read a taste test, like Consumer Reports or something, a taste test, and Kikkoman was top of the list.
Yeah. We get it by like 5-gallon buckets. You'd be amazed by how much we go through. So with this soup, the trick to the my favorite part of it is the ribbons of egg, which a lot of people don't know how to do. Okay. So I've got 2 large eggs here, and these are whisked heavily so that it's a nice even consistency.
Got about 15 seconds left.
Okay. So we pour the egg in there slowly while stirring the soup, and that's going to cook and create those ribbons that we like to see.
Oh, so good. Want to remind everybody while Sam finishes this meal up that the recipe for it is on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining link page, and it will give you the rest of the information there. Sam, this looks absolutely great. Looks like you're going to toss in a little bit of scallions and some
tofu.
And you are good to go.
That's right.
That's a meal that'll cure you, I'll tell you.
All right.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Right back.